The ring is sacred, and so is Imperium, according to Gunther. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. And Gunther has shot down the potential of Imperium adding new members, especially a female member. He was asked on the Battleground podcast about Imperium growing, Imperium getting a new member. And when he said there was no plans for that, he was then asked, what about a female member? Could Imperium add a female to their group, seeing as the majority of groups in wrestling these days actually have a female? The only one I can think of, the only faction that doesn't have one would be the Bloodline. That's probably the only one that doesn't have one outside of Imperium. But he said no to that. This is what Gunther had to say on the Battleground podcast when being asked about adding a new member. He said, quote, there's no plans for that. No, it's not a group where it's like we get to fill those spots. Who do we take? It's either naturally or that it comes together or it doesn't come together. I know both of them for a long time now, especially Kaiser. I think we have known each other since like 2009 or 2010 and travelled everywhere together in Germany, and now we're doing it again up here. There's a connection behind it, and that's why we're doing it. I don't think I could not be in a situation like that with somebody that I have no real connection with on a personal level as well. So there's not really any plans for that. End of quote. And what I notice actually reading a lot of these quotes from wrestlers, a lot of them are just incoherent, man. They're not really, they don't really make a lot of sense. And maybe it's because English isn't, I don't know, is it Gunther's first language? It's probably not.
No, he's German, so I'm going to...
He's Austrian, actually, so...
well, same thing. Aye, but they speak German.
Oh, well, fair enough.
Aye, so know your role.
He's European, alright.
Aye, he's European. Well,
is that why he's closer to Kaiser than he is to Giovanni? Because Giovanni speaks Italian?
Potentially.
Giovanni!
You want to drive Ferrari? I don't like this for Gunther. You know why I don't like this for Gunther? See this gimmick of, I can't be in a tag team, a fake fucking tag team with someone if I don't have a personal connection with them. What? I mean, come on. That doesn't even make any sense. If whatever's best for business, you should be willing to do. Imperium fucking suck. I think
Dave Austin came back and wanted to form the two-man power trip with Gunther. Would Gunther say, nah, I don't have a connection with you? Do it on your own. What if the NWO wanted Gunther to be the third man? Nah, I don't have a connection with you two guys. Go and create the biggest faction in wrestling without me.
I know, but I'm willing to bet like Scott Hall and Nash didn't really have much of a connection with Hogan until they started.
No, they didn't. I mean, they speak about it all the time. It's like they were kind of advanced. They had good ideas. They were kind of like a new generation, and Hogan was kind of like out of touch. And
aye, so there you go.
Hogan was like kind of like a generation. Even though the age gap isn't that big, it was almost like Hogan was kind of like their father's generation or whatnot. Hogan was out of touch, and they always speak on that and how...
Is Ric Flair with Batista and Randy Orton when they come into the business? Do they hang out all the time or whatever? Maybe they did, right? But come on, Gunther. Wake up and smell the coffee, son. It's embarrassing. They treat it like it's some fucking like school curricular activity or something, don't they?
Aye, they do. But anyway, I do kind of agree with Gunther that it's good not to have a female in the faction. Like, I'm not saying you can't have one, but in wrestling nowadays, pretty much all the factions are adding a female simply just to have one or to combat another faction that has a female. And in 2024, it just does not work when you have women wrestling and men wrestling and they share the same screen time. When they're in the same segments, it just doesn't work because there's no physicality allowed. Like, from a man's standpoint, you cannot touch the woman. So, for example, let's say Imperium had 3 women and they're in a feud with DIY. And they've got one woman. If DIY take out all the men in Imperium and it's just left with the 3 women and, like, let's say Candice LeRae, who's teaming up with DIY, see if the 3 females are beating down Candice LeRae, see Johnny Gargano and Tommaso they can't do nothing. They just have to watch. It's fucking awkward. You see it. It's so... They choreograph it. Well, they tried to choreograph it, but they suck at doing it. But it's just like so set up that the woman has to be against the woman. It's garbage when you see them do that. It makes it look so fucking fake. And that's just why they even up the numbers now. Like, you look at recently on SmackDown, Bobby Lashley's crew, they couldn't do anything against Scarlett, so they just had to recruit B-Fab out of absolutely nowhere. B-Fab gets thrown into the group just so they've got somebody that can combat Scarlett Bordeaux. We had the club on Raw, they were getting beat up every single week by Rhea Ripley, and they couldn't do anything. They just had to watch on awkwardly until they added Meech in. So I think it's one of the worst things for me to watch nowadays, to be honest, when it's men and women sharing the same segments. I think we're getting to a point where if the men can't even restrain a woman or pull her off or defend themselves, then you may as well just have it completely different segments and don't integrate it, because it's a bad look, I think.
No, it is a bad look, and I don't understand why they can't even restrain them. I mean, why can't you do that? Like, in TV shows, men can attack women, women can attack men. See, in real life, right? Now, for the most part, I don't think men do attack women. But this is it's not real.
It's fake.
But see, in real life, right? Men do restrain women.
Well, I'd like to think so. I'd like to think if a woman's hitting you, you're going to, defend yourself or restrain her, protect yourself.
No, no, you're right.
See in real life, see if a woman randomly comes up and attacks your girlfriend, are you just going to stand by it and not break it up because, I can't put my hands on her, she's feet?
Oh, according to Dave Meltzer and Triple H, I might have to just stand
that's
there.
See if Valhalla comes out and attacks Maxine, see Gable, Otis and Tosawa, there might be 3 of them. But they're going to just stand there like useless dicks because we're in a product where they literally cannot lay hands on her, man. It's absolutely insane.
See, as bad as wrestling is, it's actually one of the worst things about it. It's fucking cringe.
It is cringe. So, you know what? I actually think it's a good thing that Imperium don't add a female to it, because for me, that would pretty much ruin Imperium. And then you would just have they would probably do the same thing they done with Rhea Ripley, just having her basically win matches for the Judgment Day for a year straight, because she can touch anybody, but nobody can touch her. And speaking of that, if Imperium were to add a female to their group, who do you think should be, guys? Let us know down in the comments. Out of the entire roster, who would you add? Now, I was thinking it's just someone who's European, therefore, I don't think there's many European female wrestlers on the roster at this point. I mean, I know you've got Becky Lynch who's Irish and there's a few Scottish, but none of them really fit in. I would have probably went with, what's that person from NXT, the one I've stuck in the thumbnail, can't even remember her name.
She's European?
The golf-looking English chick.
Can't remember her name, but
NXT. She's in a feud with Roxanne Perez for a couple of months.
You need to be on the actual.
In a feud with Roxanne Perez for a couple of months. Was in that championship scramble thing. I think she earned a shot against Lyra Valkyrie. What was her name? Jesus Christ.
Pax. Something like that. I don't know.
Anyway, guys, I would have put her in it.
Tatum Paxley.
No, fuck me, no.
No.
Before her.
Fuck, no idea. I'm lost.
Jesus Christ.
No, but I think if you're going to put someone...
Her there.
Blair Davenport.
That's the one. I'd have probably put her in because she's English and European.
No, yeah, you need to.
And she dresses in black as well. And they dress in black.
I think you need to put someone that's from the continent
of Europe.
We are on the continent, but in terms of land continent, English ain't the first language.
Alright, then who is it?
Who?
Alright, who is it?
But there's no one.
I'm asking down below in the comments who would make the best fit for Imperium.
I actually think you would need to hire somebody who's foreign.
There you go, guys. You need to hire somebody who's for... So no, there must be someone in NXT.
Or someone who could put a fucking accent on.
There must be someone. Lana.
Yeah, exactly. So it can be done.
Mother Russia. Anyway, guys, let us know your thoughts down below. We'll catch you in the next one.
We're not allowed to do Russians, though. It's 2024.
Hire someone for Ukraine instead. Till next time. Peace.